feel like 2024 has been a bit of a mixed bag when it's come to video game releases, you know? Like, unless you have been a JRPG fan recently, you've been eating well. You've had P3 Reload, Metaphor came out, Unicorn Overlord, Like a Dragon, what else am I forgetting? SMT5, Vengeance, oh my goodness, how did I forget about that? But I feel like it hasn't really reached the same heights as like 2023 and earlier, right? I think partially that is because Baldur's Gate 3 was just such a massive release. I mean, the reason why this year has been a bit better than I expected was mainly because I was still playing BG3 heading into it, right? And like, that game is still getting updated, like, holy crap. The post-launch service that Larian is displaying there is incredible, and I kind of want to talk about that at some point, but like, I'm getting off topic here. Now, don't get me wrong, we obviously had good games this year. I mean, I'm looking at this Reddit right now, which is reminding me of them all. We had Astrobot, Dragon's Dogma, Wukong, The Dead Rising remake, that was nice. What else we got here? And of course, we had Balatro. Oh, the amount of hours like I've spent into that, I have just turned into a gambling addict. I don't think... I think this is all to say that 2024 really hasn't been for me, and I get the feeling that a few people are also feeling that as well. So I thought we'd better take a look into next year to see what's on offer and get excited for some of the games there. So this is what personally I'm going to be looking forward to, and what I recommend that you start to check out. So first up is Doom: The Dark Ages, and this is something that, I mean, it's going to be another Doom sequel. We're not really expecting the world to change here. They're taking it away from the kind of the future apocalypse to a more medieval tone, which I personally appreciate. I mean, the last two Doom games were kind of killer, especially Doom Eternal in my opinion, where if you have a look online where the developers talk about like the gameplay and the loop and everything, where you're using all your guns strategically in order to take down certain demons, and then when you run out of ammo, you're going for glory kills, or you're doing the chainsaw attack and everything to get your ammo back. And then all of the other mechanics in there with like the dashes and the finishes and the blood punch and everything. Doom Eternal felt more like a puzzle combat game more than anything, which is crazy, but it did work. And so when it comes to Doom: The Dark Age, I'm expecting more of that. I don't think they're really going to reinvent it way too much, but hey, I like Doom Eternal. I think this is going to be a good one. I will probably pick up Doom: The Dark Age when it gets on discount, just because I don't expect the gameplay to change that much, but if it does, then maybe I pick it up earlier and we give it a play there. But yeah, Doom: The Dark Age, I mean, it just makes you feel badass. Is there anything wrong with that? In this kind of same line of FPS shooters I'm looking at, Mouse is looking incredible at the minute. It has this really cool 1920s, 30s kind of, art style, following a lot of the kind of Mickey Mouse from that era with like Steamboat Willie and everything. I mean, they've definitely been working on this game, I feel, before that original Mickey Mouse kind of exited public domain, and now it's out. I think it's like easier to release a game like this without facing, potential backlash from the Walt Disney Company. But I mean, it looks so good. I think just from the aesthetics alone, I'm going to be buying this one. I think personally as well, looking from like the gameplay trailer, a lot of it's going to depend on, for me, the kind of progression with things and everything. I mean, the combat looks good, it looks fluid, it looks fun, fast paced, which I always enjoy. But these FPS games where it's literally just you go around shooting and then you complete the level, I think it needs to be a bit more than that. I'm thinking more of a kind of Bioshock experience where you have your, your upgrades and your abilities that you can slot into and stuff like that with the plasmids and everything. Will this game include features like that? I'm not quite sure. I hope it does. But if it does nail that progression, I think this one ticks all the boxes for me personally. So talking about Bioshock, we have Judas, which does look interesting, from Bioshock's original creator, Ken Levine, I think. It's looking like Bioshock, but set in space, frankly, which I think is all I really want. Now, naturally, there's going to be some development from, just what the original Bioshocks did and everything, and they have kind of already talked about what appears to be the main plot twist in the story, or at least its inciting incident. So it'll be interesting to see what's the actual plot twist when we play the game. I don't think it's going to reach the same heights as Bioshock, and I am a little worried in terms of just like the style of the game. The combat does look a little bit confusing, but it might just be one of those things that you play it and it gets better. This probably isn't going to be an immediate buy from me. I will probably wait until this one appears on discount, but it does look interesting at any rate. And I think, yeah, I'm in the mood for a Bioshock. I'm in the mood for like something Prey-like at the minute. Judas could be a really good one to keep an eye on. Now, this one is just pure nostalgia bait, and I don't care because, you know what? I was a child once. The Fable remake. Look, It's arguably the original Fables were not that great of a game, but god damn it, I loved becoming a landlord and solving all of my problems with just a copious amounts of cash. So I mean, hey, they're gonna remake Fable. I'm probably gonna play it and do some dumb shit. Like, is there anything more you want? I just hope that they remake it. You know, I'm a gameplay guy. I'm not necessarily a story person. As long as they make the combat up to date and they keep the spirit of the original with the whole, you know, morality system. I am a little worried it could get a little too serious. And kind of more story focused, but I want it to be a bit more free flowing, a bit more sandboxy and everything. I think the originals were, you know, I'm talking about more Fable 2 and 3, I think, were the ones that I played. They were a bit more, you know, fun, those games. You can kind of do what you want and mess around with them. I want that kind of Fable. I don't want a very serious story-driven Fable. But we get to see on that one. So hopefully, I get the feeling this one will probably be on Game Pass. So I'll probably end up playing this one. I'm ready. Civ 7, everyone. You know, at first, I was pretty worried about this. I looked at some of the gameplay and I was like, what do you mean there's only 3 ages in it? What do you mean they've removed workers from the game? What's this legacy system? What's all this? And like, I really had an initial gut reaction of, oh, I'm probably not going to like this. For instance, I am a big Civilization 5 person. Civ 5 was definitely peak in my opinion. And then they made Civ 6 and they really focused on like, you've got to build out your cities and plan ahead. And you got these all unique leaders and everything. And it didn't feel right, Civ 6. I don't really know how to put it. I mean, the one thing that I can point to and be like, that should have been different was the fact that you could only really play wide in Civ 6 if you wanted to be competitive on higher levels. You really couldn't play tall, where Civ 5 had, you know, both tall and wide. You could do both, really. I don't know, Civ 6 for me, with that whole city planning aspect, just really didn't do it. But Civ 7, you know what? I've kind of turned around and I've got a bit more hope for it at the minute. I like the idea of you pick one leader at the start and you can pick your civilizations through. I'm liking the idea of the legacy system. I'm liking the 3 ages. If they can use that as a mechanic, and it looks like they kind of are with the crisis system in it. If they can use that as a mechanic to kind of give a little bit of a cap on players leading ahead too much and then helping the smaller kind of people out, and like each of those kind of ages are their own little games in a way, I think that could be a really fun multiplayer experience with friends. But the only issue with that is that we've seen some information online about there is a 5-player multiplayer cap in at least the first 2 ages, and then in the modern age apparently it goes to an 8-player multiplayer cap, which is interesting. I'm not quite sure how they're achieving that. Like, the only way I could think of is in like the second age of the game, the exploration age, maybe some civilizations can like break up and you get like, you know, some kind of civil war and like, uh-oh, now we're playing like this one civilization is turned into 2 because of it. Look, I am hopeful for Civilization 7. I will be playing it on release. I think it's going to be good. I like the way that they're handling the mechanics in it. I like the you know, kind of build your own civ path kind of thing. And I like the city, how that all works out with the urban districts and the rural ones, how you build that out as well. I think it will be good. I think it will be good. I think this is more cope than anything. But I'm looking forward to Civ 7, and I hope it gives me the same kind of highs as Civ 5 gave me. Crimson Desert is looking good, and I'm hoping it delivers. It reminds me a bit of Witcher 3 with that kind of combat and that live in the world experience that we all seem to be craving from RPGs. I mean, with good reason. You want to feel like you're there. I reckon this game could be good. I mean, you know it's good when the only thing that people are talking about in the gameplay trailer, like complaining about it, is the particle physics and the footstep sounds. I mean, it looks incredible, and I really want a good lived-in RPG experience, so I'm looking at Crimson Desert at the minute. Combat looks nice, the world building looks sound, the graphics look amazing. I mean, this one's going to be a buy for me, I reckon. Okay, we're heading into RPGs now, and we've got a fair few to talk about that I'm personally interested in. First of all, one that's flown a lot under people's radars, Clair Obscure Expedition 33. Aside from the crazy name, I mean, just look at it. Unreal Engine 5 people. It looks bloody incredible. So in terms of the story here, we're not quite sure exactly what's really going on. Looks like you got your team. It's an expedition of some sort, but I mean, man, this combat looks amazing. If it can get the progression right, if it can make me feel like I'm getting more powerful as I'm leveling up, this game is a contender, people. I mean, just look at it. This will probably be the most stylish RPG of the year unless Persona 6 were to come out. And I think a quick note on that, look, guys, I don't think it is coming out this year. I would love for it to, but I reckon that's a 2026 thing. I mean, Persona 6 and 26. It makes sense, it rhymes and everything, but like, frankly, I don't think we've seen enough information on the game yet, even just through leaks and everything. Do we get a trailer for it next year? I think so. Probably announcing it for 2026. That's going to be my call right now. We'll see if I'm right. We might be able to laugh at me in a few months' time, but yeah, I don't think it's this year, really. So, Monster Hunter Wilds. This one, honestly, a bit of a shot in the dark for me. I have not played a Monster Hunter game, but everyone's been telling me they're really good, so I'm definitely looking at Wilds this year. I mean, the gameplay looks exactly like a Monster Hunter game, but everyone in the open beta is saying, hey, this one's really good. So I'm definitely going to be checking this one out. All right, this one's a bit of an oddball. The 100-Line Last Defense Academy. It's from the Danganronpa devs. You can tell, I mean, just by looking at the damn game, and we know literally nothing about it aside from the fact that it is a turn-based kind of Fire Emblem game with what it looks like to be the kind of daily life aspects of Danganronpa. Do I believe for a second that this game is not connected to the main series in some way? No, I think there's definitely going to be some crazy story beats in this. Oh, no, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's its own separate entry. But I mean, like, these guys have a stick. It's putting high schoolers in horrible situations. And that looks like what's happening here. So, I don't know anything else about this game aside from it's the Danganronpa people, which, I mean, hey, that's a pretty good sign in my book. Yeah, I reckon this one will probably be a buy. So, they are remaking The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. This is the first in the Trails series. This is a pretty big one. I have not played the original, and this one's coming out on Switch apparently with a nice, beautiful facelift. So I reckon this one will be a check. From what I hear of the original game, it's pretty groundbreaking, lots of fun, and I reckon this will probably start like a bit of a revival in this series, which I'm all for personally. My only concern is that Nintendo is probably going to make it like $80. Is it an $80 game? I don't know. I'm gonna wait for probably reviews to come in, but this one should be pretty good, and from, like, I mean, the original game, it looks like it should be good. Alright, now on to one that I know is going to be good. Deltarune, baby. The man's only taken, like, way too long, but it looks like next year we will be seeing Deltarune come out. At least 3 or 4. Hang on. I'm not caught up with the development yet. Okay, sorry. So, I vaguely remember him saying, hey, I'm only gonna release the next 3 chapters when they all come out, but it looks like he's releasing chapter 3 and 4 in 2025, not chapter 5 as well. Yeah, no, Deltarune's looking really good. I mean, chapters 1 and 2 have obviously been out, and they have been pretty good games. It's exactly what you'd expect from Toby Fox. So the new Deltarune is definitely something I'm looking forward to. I'm a bit interested in terms of the twists and turns that's going to take. I reckon that will be an experience to play on live. So yeah, really looking forward to Deltarune. Okay, another oddball, but something personally I'm looking forward to. And honestly, if you haven't ever played the original, I recommend it. You can get it on mobile, you can get it on PC, but Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is getting its remake. It's coming out 2025. Oh, I can't wait. Honestly, this game, okay, the original right now is really outdated and everything, but if you can just bear with it, underneath lies a fantastic RPG, which is just so much fun. I mean, I'm super looking forward to this. I really hope that, given the last few Star Wars games, they don't ruin it with anything. Like, don't put microtransactions into it. Don't change anything, like, with it. Just update the UI, right? Make it more friendly to newcomers with the mechanics in terms of, like, just explaining them. Like, keep the mechanics themselves the same, because, again, it's really good. Keep the story the same. Update the graphics. Update the VAs, you know. I think you don't really need to change much of the game. Don't introduce any you know, EA bullshit, frankly. Please, I'm begging you, if this isn't good, I am going to be quite upset. Okay, moving away now from RPGs, we've got the next Professor Layton entry. Man, I've been missing Professor Layton in my life. Like, it's been way too long. I've actually recently, I've got Google Pass on my phone or whatever the subscription service is, and they do have some of the Professor Layton games on there, and I've been playing those a lot. But you know what? We haven't seen a new entry into the series. I'm ready for a new entry now. It'll be interesting to see how much they change from like the kind of original styles of the games. I hope they don't really change it that too much. Yeah, Professor Layton. Oh, you know what? It's so good to not have to deal with Katrina. Frankly, just bring back the OG man himself. I think that's all we want, frankly. All right, Pony Island 2. Again, it's another one where we know fucking nothing about it, but goddamn, Daniel Mullen has been on a tear recently. Not only the original Pony Island and the Hex, but more recent with Inscription, which was easily Game of the Year when it came out. Was that 2022 or 2023? I think it was 2022. I mean, anything that man touches is just incredible. And if you haven't played his like smaller projects, the GitHub ones, I mean, just try them. The pet one, for instance, man, he has this way of impacting you with such simplistic design and everything. And like every game he's played is amazing. Pony Island 2, the trailer's looking good. It's looking like it's going to be a bit of a meta, you know, kind of puzzle game and everything, like the original Pony Island, like Inscription kind of was. I think it's going to be really good. I hope it comes out soon. Yeah. It's going to be great. And I think ProZDita's acting in it. Look, here's the thing, right? We know that this man likes to fuck with us, and what we're seeing in the trailer is probably only a small bit of the game as well. Like, he's holding his cards very close to his chest, so I'm very excited to see what Pony Island 2 actually looks like. Okay, so that was the main stuff. However, there are a bunch of other games I'm interested in that I literally don't know nothing about, or it could be a bit of a coin toss as to whether it's good or not. Okay. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I never played the original Kingdom Come, everyone's saying it's really good. I personally don't know if it's going to be for me, it might just be a bit too slow, but I'm open to listening about it, it could be good. MGS3, Delta Snake Eater, right, the remake of the original. Again, everyone tells me that Metal Gear Solid 3 is amazing. I tried Metal Gear Solid 5, I didn't really get into it. I feel like though, I've probably matured since last time I've played that, so I'm looking forward to that game. Grand Theft Auto 6, I've never played a Grand Theft Auto entry. I'm going to give 6 a try when it gets cheap, but we will see with that. Like, honestly, again, I'm a man who lives for progression. I don't know if GTA 6 is going to fulfill that for me, but hey, everyone else is going to play it, so if the multiplayer is good, I will definitely play it. Borderlands 4, we know literally nothing about this, and Borderlands 3 kinda sucked. I don't know, I personally really didn't like it. Borderlands 2 will always be the best Borderlands game in my heart. If Borderlands 4 goes back to the original Borderlands 2 scaling in terms of health and damage and like the need to upgrade guns at higher levels, alongside making the villain actually like enjoyable, like stop making them relatable to modern day things like streamers. Like don't do that basically. And if they can also tone down the amount of legendaries that you get in Borderlands 4, it could be good. Look, I'm not holding out for it. We will see. I need more information about it. State of Decay 3. State of Decay 2 was a bit of a downgrade, honestly, from the original State of Decay. It just didn't have that same kind of charm. I feel like they also announced State of Decay 3 way too quickly from, like, the sequel that they made in the first place. Now, I think at the time, that was a bit of a, let's just get people excited, let's just say we're working on it, we haven't actually got anything here. I think... look, I don't know. I don't really know about it. I need to see some gameplay for it. I'm kind of about it. We will see. I don't think it's going to be particularly great, but if they can make it feel like the original State of Decay, which I don't think they're going to, but if they did for some reason, it would make me more inclined to want to play it. Splitgate 2. The original Splitgate was a fun, free-to-play multiplayer shooter, and I am interested in its sequel. That's pretty much all I've got on this point. I just like my FPS shooters with portals in them. I'm a simple guy, what can I say? Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I didn't play the original Death Stranding, although I think I would have been more inclined to play it if I played it when like it first initially released. Now that it's been there for a bit and they've got all those like kind of, you know, multiplayer connection, world building stuff in it, it kind of drives me away from it. So if I can jump onto Death Stranding 2 when the game first comes out, I reckon it will be good. We shall see with that one. And then finally, just a random one that I'm chucking in at the end here because I like my idle games. They're remaking The Perfect Tower on Steam. It's a great game, which I really enjoyed, and I don't know, number go up. That's ultimately all I need. I think really there are a bunch of idle games next year that I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with. This is definitely my pick for the time being in terms of what I'm probably going to lose a bunch of hours on and everything, and apparently it's coming out next year, so it should be good. So yeah, that's been my selection in terms of what I'm looking forward to next year. We might make a follow-up to this when more games get announced, but I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys around.